What's going on, everybody? It's Easter Monday. Hopefully everybody's having a great day. It's fucking cold here, just outside Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And it's a Q&A show. We're going to talk about whatever the hell you guys want to talk about, within reason, of course. Within reason. And if the chat's slow, then Tommy and I will talk about things. Actually, Tommy and I have a few things to talk about regardless. But without further ado, Mr. Tommy B. What's going on, man?
Hey.
Yeah, and he's frozen already. For those of you that don't know,
isn't that fantastic?
Tommy is going through some connection issues and is doing his best to work around them. So you will see Tommi put on his best Mr. Freeze at times during this show. But, what's going on, man? How was Easter?
Easter was pretty good. We went out of town, visited the in-laws for a few days. Yesterday, actual Sunday was pretty chillaxed, laid back day after we got done traveling home a few hours. But hey, Easter Monday has been pretty exciting too. Probably most exciting I've had in the past few days. One reason we all know why is that little teaser drop. But we'll get into that. How you doing, Shawn?
Did drop. A teaser did drop. Yes, I'll be honest. I sat here and I'm like, I'm gonna do a reaction. And it's just been such a crazy 3.5 days for me that it was like, okay, no, I'm not gonna do a reaction. I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna hit the vape. And come back inside, see what Tommy's up to, and see if he just wants to go on air for like an hour. And that's what we decided to do. We decided to take a little bit of our Easter Monday time and spend it with each and every one of you. And we have one of our mods wanting to tell a joke right out of the gate. Toronto Freddy, I have a joke. What is a geometry nerd's favorite horror icon? Nothing is ringing a bell at all. What is it?
Yeah, I failed geometry, so I missed too much of the class. I missed
Oh, oh, man. The shape. Okay. All right. We got to give some horns to our boy Freddy on that one. I don't know why that didn't register with me. It should have. There's definitely some things I want to talk about on this stream. We'll get to all your questions, so feel free to send them in, and you guys can divert the show whatever way you want. Matt says he's working and hoping he doesn't get in trouble. Yes.
Don't get in trouble. Don't recommend that. Not a little bit.
Getting in trouble is not a good thing. It is, in fact, a bad thing. Unless you like to get in trouble, but that's a different kind of show. So
I typically recommend staying out of trouble.
Staying out of trouble is also good. So look, there's a lot sort of percolating in the news right now. We have the camera's doing weird shit. We have the Thor: Love and Thunder teaser, very short. It's out. I liked it. We'll talk about that in a few. CinemaCon's coming up, a little over a week away. Halloween fans are going to be dying for every detail of the footage at the show, and they are showing footage. It's not a if they're showing footage, it's they are showing footage. I just don't know if that's an early teaser or a snippet of a scene. We don't know, but they will have a presence there for sure. So you have that. I've already seen someone bring up Kenobi in the chat. We're a little over a month away from Kenobi, which will be, what a lot of people are calling Star Wars' biggest project since The Force Awakens. So I think I said The Forced Awakens. The Force, obviously. Toronto Freddy watched the Batman as soon as it hit Crave last night. Is that your first time seeing the movie, man? I feel like you've seen it before. I honestly can't remember. I did see that it hit Crave. I have not watched it yet because I'm holding out hope when they release the physical media in a month or two. Then I'm hoping we're going to get an extended cut of the movie. I don't know if we are. I have no information on that whatsoever. But it's such a wonderful movie. Like it's the best movie I've seen in cinema in a long time. And actually tomorrow night on Phantom Empire Live, we're going to talk about DC a little bit and what's going on over there and how they want to try to replicate the success of movies like Joker and the Batman. And then you have all the crap with the Flash actor going on, and we'll be touching on a lot of that tomorrow night on Phantom Empire Live. So yeah, there's a lot that's coming up, and then once we finish with all that's going on, a Halloween trailer that will get released publicly around the time that Kenobi is released too. So you have that coming as well, and then once we finish with all that, I think Doctor Strange gets released before most of that, and then we go into Thor: Love and Thunder, and then you have Game of Thrones: House of the Dragon, you have the Lord of the Rings show. There's just so much coming. I just wanted to take a second, and I know I'm going to get some hate for this from some people. Tommy, have you seen the new Scream movie yet?
No.
Yeah.
Before we move into that, I will say a relatively new coworker of mine is a fan of horror. We have some combos here and there. She was telling me, I think that Scream 4 is her favorite, or she really likes it. Yes, Scream 4. I'm like, wow, I wanted to stop after 1.
Man, Scream 4. Eesh. I mean, bravo, whatever that person sees in it, cool, but wow. That's a rare one. That's a big time rare one. I gotta say, man, I've had time to sit with it. I think I've seen Halloween Kills 4 times, and I've seen the new Scream movie twice. And I gotta say, I think just like in terms of all around put together movie, the new Scream movie is a better movie than Halloween Kills. I truly believe that. I know there's people that follow this channel. Oh, that's blasphemy. This guy's a fucking idiot. That piece of shit. There's parts of Halloween Kills that I love. Everything with Michael Myers I basically love. There's just some weaknesses with it as well. So, the Lost Relic wants to know what's wrong with Scream 4. We're only on for about 45 more minutes. We would need about 5 hours and 45 more minutes to go over that. Here's an interesting one. Just another horror fan. His ranking is Scream 1, 5, 4, 2, and 3. I'm stunned that he has 2 so low because 2 is actually my favorite Scream movie. But this is one thing I love talking movies about, man, whether it's movies, video games, TV shows, you name it, is one person's shit, or what's on one person's shit list might be on the next person's gold list, could be big time VIP movie or show for them. Look at our staff here. Johnny hates the prequels. Kieran's kind of and I'm pretty sure you and I both love the prequels. So it's like, it really is, film is subjective, and it's cool to see a difference in opinion out there for sure. I enjoy it. Let's go back in the chat and start to get to some of these questions. We'll get to as many of them as we can. Keep sending them in. Tom, you got anything you want to get off your chest, man? Anything that's been percolating lately?
Yeah, I just happened to notice that I have a messenger notification for some extremely weird. Yeah. So, for any of our viewers who may have gotten spammed by me, I apologize. That's kind of weird. Facebook always changing shit. Gotta love it.
The Lost Relic, Mr. TLR, haven't chat here in a while. Loving the new intro. Yeah, I quite like it as well. We dig it. We definitely dig. Solid Saturn, where's the Halloween Ends poster? It made the move to the new place. I'm not aware of its current destination, and obviously I say that very tongue-in-cheek. Zach says, are the chances high of a second Kenobi trailer, or are they going to move on to TV spots and or featurettes from here?
Let's be for real. That wasn't even a trailer. I mean, what was the runtime on that thing?
Yeah, no, it was a teaser, the first one we got. You're going to get one. for sure. When that is, no idea. You would have to assume, though, that the date that they never seem to do anything on is not far from now, May the 4th. Release the final trailer on May the 4th. You know, their fake Star Wars day, if you will. And I just noticed my Empire post is crooked. Who was in my studio? Anyway.
You could have bopped your camera. You don't know.
Oh, yo, blame me. I'm trying to blame everybody else. Yeah, May the 4th. I don't know that for sure, but it makes sense. That would be like 22 days before you see the first 2 episodes. So 3 weeks. Yeah, I could see it being May the 4th. And then I don't know how many TV spots you'll see because it's a Disney Plus show. I wouldn't think very many at all. But another trailer is definitely going to come. I just don't.
But they do throw things out there, TV spots. I mean, if you don't, I don't realistically know how often you see these things on TV because I haven't had cable in years. I've had streaming channels.
Heath says, hope you're all doing good. Happy belated Easter to you both. I'm picking up steaks after a long 7 straight at work and gonna chill. If you're all ever in Alabama, holla. I thought you meant you were buying us steaks. I thought you meant you were gonna do them up and have them shipped up to, I mean, you'd get Tommy before you'd get to me, but but cool. Appreciate it, man. I hope you enjoy them. Hopefully you got some like nice seasoned asparagus to go with that and some nice roasted potatoes and some cooked bell peppers. A little bit of au jus. What's up, Joel?
You all right? Are you hungry over there or what?
I'm fucking starving. The Lost Relic and Eric both agree the Batman rocks, as does Joel. Joel says, the Batman was great. I was wrong because I was a Pattinson naysayer. My God. You know what movie? Speaking of Pattinson, I watched Jade and I on Saturday night watched the Lost City of Z based on a true story. And it's with Charlie Hunnam, Robert Pattinson, Tom Holland. And it's one of those, you're not going to, once you see it once, you're not going to be rushing back to see it again. But it was still like a quality watch following along what happened. But it was one of those things, because it's based on a true story, the ending feels a little wonky, and then you get the words on screen at the end to tell how each event ended or whatever, and it's like, but it's a true story. And I would strongly encourage anybody who likes a deep dive or even a borderline period piece, I would check out The Lost City of Z. The acting talent is really good anyway. So Halloween Ends trailer May the 13th. I don't know that. I don't know where you're getting that from. I don't know if there's stuff out today. I've been out of touch the last few days. Those of you that have me on Facebook probably know why. Good times. Lots to celebrate. I'll just say that. I don't know. But I do believe it'll be June that we would get the trailer. I think it would be June. May or June? When did we get it last year? Was it June or July? I feel like we got it in July last year.
But there were also some issues with it leaking last year.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they weren't getting leaked.
Yeah, I don't think it's coming as soon as people want. I'll say that. And unless someone sneaks footage from CinemaCon, you'll just get the description of what was shown. So patience. Look at me. I was very cynical about things I heard with Halloween Ends very early on. But like the stuff that's come out over the last few weeks, stuff that we've talked about on Lambkin Lane, stuff that we've talked about on here or even privately, it really does seem like it's shaping up to be a fascinating film. We'll have to wait and see what happens. KJ says new Scream is better. Solid Saturn playing the political guy. Both are great. He loves everything. Hey, I think the Lost Relics ranking was the same as that other fellas that we had up here. I'm going back looking for it now. Yeah, it is 15423. Wow, that's crazy. We just find out it's the same person. Toronto Freddy says Scream is okay, but yes, it's better than Kills. At the very least, it's fucking watchable. Linton wants to know how are we? How are you, Tommy? How you doing, man?
I could complain about my internet, but what's the point? I've spent enough showtime doing that.
Have I told you to check out the Revenge of the Sith novel yet? Have I mentioned that to you yet?
Let me just check. Log history. Yes, every day.
Every day, huh?
Every day, sometimes multiple times a day.
Are you in the basement in your new studio? No, not in the basement, which means it's smaller and really needs some soundproofing, to be honest, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. Yeah, hey, it's something. I'll say this. The on-screen portion looks better than the off-screen portion. It still looks decent. It's just more confined. But hey, there's not water coming through the ceiling at us, so I should be grateful. Kay just said, I've read Pattinson is awful as Bruce, but good as Batman. I'll give it a watch soon. I think people say that about Bruce, though, because it's a version of Bruce Wayne that they're not used to. It's not, Playboy billionaire Bruce Wayne. And a lot of people don't realize that Playboy billionaire Bruce Wayne didn't come into the comics until afterwards.
I think it's also worth mentioning, since we're talking about it and it's just becoming more available to people, we don't need to say, but this is very much a Batman film. A Batman film. Yeah, not a Bruce Wayne film.
The Lost Relic says, I haven't heard enough people talk about the cinematography in Halloween Kills. It's the best looking Halloween movie, in my opinion. It's close. I think it's the tale of two stories for me, honestly. To me, half the time the cinematography looks spectacular in that movie. And then the other half of the time, while not bad, just doesn't seem like it, matches the upper tier parts of the movie, if you will. Zach says, since you're getting more hopeful for Halloween Ends, do you think it could correct the many errors? Oh, wait, what? Help me out here, Tommy. I smoked before coming on air, but
I think Zach is maybe trying to talk about you personally, your own theatrical viewing experiences, that sort of thing. I don't know.
Zach, can you maybe reword that question for me? Toronto Freddy says the movie is called The Batman. He is right. It is very much a Batman movie.
Not a Bruce Wayne movie.
Most Batman Bruce Wayne movies, it's like 60-40. You get, 60% one of them and 40% the other. This is like 90% Batman, 10% Bruce Wayne, and it's better for it. Toronto Freddy says the editing for Kills is atrocious. Yeah, I said, I remember saying before we all went to see it that I can totally see pacing being an issue. And it was. And, a lot of people thought that they weren't going to touch it because it was delayed a year. No, they fucking went in there and fiddled around with it fucking probably way too much. Again, that's my opinion.
It was, that movie, for the budget it had, in some parts was kind of rushed. They even cut a lot out. So
they did. He says, got some crispy Brussels sprouts. Well, you lost me at Brussels sprouts, man. And asparagus along with sweet potatoes with the steaks. Here's hoping for Michael's mask is rotten and something happens to it at the end. He takes up a new mask and walks away to another town. All right, so here's rumor time. I'll be nice. He's been a sport in this chat today, and it's been very kind. I didn't intend to drop any rumors. One of the things that is out there right now, and again, this is rumor, Don't put any stock into it. But there's a few people that would be in the know-how that have been at least talking about this, is that Michael may in fact have two masks in this movie. I don't believe that's the case. Just like when I piece it together, it makes more sense for Michael to keep the mask he's been wearing since 1978 if he has access to it. But I was also one of those people that was, let's go with a just completely new, modernized Michael look with a new white mask and sell a bunch of those. I don't think that's going to happen. Again, it's a rumor that's out there that there might be a second mask. As far as I know, the mask that exists is the mask that we see at the end of Halloween Kills. It's more damaged. It's more weathered. It looks like it's been tried to be self-cared for, if you will. And that's the best way I can put it, really. What about you, Tommy? Any thoughts on the mask? I mean, obviously, Michael's mask is a big thing, a big subject of every Halloween movie. You have any preference that you'd like to see in the new one?
So, for continuity's sake, it needs to be a Michael Myers mask. It needs to be the traditional mask. You can't go too creative with it. But I wouldn't mind seeing some kind of big change on screen, in the middle of the film. I don't know what it would look like. A big slash to the face that causes, the mask to visibly change. Obviously, fire hasn't really done it in this timeline, but honestly, I'm going to take that back. I wouldn't want to see it get burned up or anything because they've had the option. We'll leave it at, if there's going to be some kind of mask change, I'd like. Does that make sense?
You were very breaking out there, I'll be honest. The last thing we caught was if there's going to be some sort of mask change,
show it on screen and don't leave us guessing why.
Yeah, I agree. That makes perfect sense. And I mean, wait, you don't want to see it burn?
No, they should have done that in one of the two previous films if that's what they were going to do in the timeline. They had the opportunity. It's come and gone.
By the way, I'll take a second here and put this up on screen. We released, I think it was like 14 new photos from the film that's been in the works for a while here. And I just wanted to take a second and put up a couple of these shots here. I told Kieran in our private chat there, our staff chat, that this might be my favorite picture of him I've ever seen. I think he looks good there. What do you think, Tommy?
Yeah, I agree. Definitely.
And then this is another one I like right here. I mean, I like a lot of them, but anyways,
I am going to ask. What are you using there for his handgun?
It is it's a pellet gun, but it's a copy. I don't know anything about guns, man.
I noticed there was no orange tip or anything, so I was just curious. Is this an actual, firearm, or is it a some kind of BB gun or something?
Toronto Freddy looks like Weird Al.
Yeah, why not?
Oh boy. Hang on, I lost my spot here. Favorite film of all time? It's The Empire Strikes Back. It's the best film ever made. Period. The Empire Strikes Back. But I'd love to come on here and just do my top 100 favorite films of all time, or what I think the 100 best films are of all time. I don't know. That'd be fun, though. That'd be fun. Don't know how many people would give a shit, but it'd be fun. Zach says, I feel the Star Wars sequels failed as continuations, but feel the new Halloween trilogy is a sequel trilogy done right. And unlike The Rise of Skywalker, I think they can stick the landing with Halloween Ends. I think most of that is fairly accurate, but I also think you're comparing a Volkswagen Beetle to a supersized, warship, an aircraft carrier.
Wow, that's
I
it's
love
not even apples to oranges. It's that.
Yeah, I love Halloween. Don't get me wrong, but as a franchise, as a following, as all the connective pieces that you got to fit in together, it's not even close to the same process of having to make a Star Wars trilogy. David Gordon Green's basically been able to come in and do, for the most part, whatever the hell he wants. You can't do Star Wars movies like that. You got to answer to Disney now.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, you couldn't even finish up projects that were in the middle of, being baked in the oven before the Disney acquisition, right? So,
I just don't think it's a fair comparison. Is basically what I'm getting at. Although the point that he makes is true if you were to compare them. What's your favorite movie of all time, man?
I mean,
come on, you can only watch one movie for the rest of your life. What are you watching?
I mean, that's a tough question. I feel like you just asked me two different questions.
It could be. It could be, because some movies are more rewatchable than others, but it doesn't mean you don't like something else more than it.
I'm, like you, a Star Wars fan through and through. I've actually been meaning to take all this stuff down and put up a New Hope poster, but with a potential move, that's not something I'm in a hurry to do. I always go for Episode 4, New Hope. Star Wars, the OG film.
There's something about that trench run in A New Hope that just is. They've never ever been able to replicate it, not even in the other original trilogy movies, and it's incredible. J-Man's in the house. Melissa says Halloween 78 Breakfast Club. He says, I haven't heard that, but hoping for a great movie. What would you guys think if the mask he picks up was an aged Halloween 4? I highly doubt they would do anything with the Thorn movies. I think there's definitely a chance they do something post 4, but cancel out 5 and 6. Whether it ever happens, we'll have to wait and see. Speculation on my behalf. Daniel, hey Shawn, is there a chance Scream Factory could do a 4K release of H6 Resurrection? Would you buy any? We at least had heard at first that it was rumored that we would get 6 H2O Resurrection and Zombies movies this year. But I don't believe that's the case. I don't think those rumors ended up being true. And so I would, though. I would. I'd have to be able to afford it, but if I had the ability, I would like to, but I don't think that's coming anytime soon. I think the next big Halloween set you're going to see is probably going to be it'll either be a 3-pack or a 4-pack with the original from these new movies, and they'll probably contain some of the extras that they've already shot that have not been released on physical media as of yet. So that's probably the next big one. Although I'm always open to just doing more. And even though I'm not the biggest Halloween H2O fan, I think they could package together a really nice Halloween H2O like deluxe edition that would get a lot of people to get it for sure. Michael in the Shadows, love it. Great photos, says the J-Man. Hey, the kids bullying Tommy, I think they into witchcraft and will have something to do with Michael. Oh, you're talking about the kids at the the Delaney's you're talking about. No, the Delaney's didn't. Did you mean Tommy or Lonnie? I don't know. Jay, so why, I think he means, what is the leak scene you were talking about that you were going to make a video about? Yeah, that video should come out, today's Monday, hopefully Wednesday. Hopefully Wednesday it'll be out. But it is about a scene right outside of Glass Hill. It was described as something in the beginning. We have further clarification on that and want to correct a few things, but it's a scene, it's a death scene, and it features Michael Myers. I'll tell you that. But look for that on a video, hopefully Wednesday. It's limited time, only so much time. Yes, he meant bullying Lonnie. So the Delaney's, I think, is who they mean. And originally, I thought they were supposed to have a part in this movie. I don't know anymore. Again, they changed quite a bit up. There is a whole other group of characters, though, that have what I would describe as a somewhat significant role in Halloween Ends that we're not used to, and they're not legacy characters of any sort. But I don't have names, if that makes any sense. But I can tell you at least last names anyway. So yeah. Zach says Titanic is his favorite film of all time. The scope, the effects, the acting, everything. It's an experience every time I watch it. Truly feel like watching the Titanic come to life every time. I haven't watched the Titanic start to finish in well over 10 years. But I can tell you from the time they hit the iceberg on is some of the most captivating filmmaking you will ever see in your life. I'm assuming you've seen the Titanic, Tommy. I don't know if you're being serious right now with me or not.
No, I'm being totally serious. I've seen the Titanic, and it's a movie. It doesn't rank up there in one of the movies I'd like to see time and time again, but it's a movie.
Indeed. So, fun fact here is Tommy brought this up to me the other day. There is some, again, nothing imminent, and it won't be imminent, but there's some talk going around about a supernatural reboot that could come, and basically, from what I understand, is Dean. Wow. Jensen Ackles' film company that he founded with his wife. Jensen Ackles, who played Dean Winchester for 15 seasons on Supernatural. They are doing a Supernatural prequel. It's still through the CW. CW still owns the rights. But if it gets picked up and all goes fairly well, don't be surprised if Jensen Ackles, who's been very vocal about not liking the ending of Supernatural, like at all, to the point where he has a fairly significant issue with it. Don't be surprised if he gets to go back and change what happened, and whether it's a one-off season or some more seasons. I would bet, as long as his production company is not a flop, that's exactly what will happen, because him and Jared Padalecki were not executive producers on Supernatural. Most actors on shows that they're on for a long time become that, but because they worked so tirelessly for so long, plus the conventions on top of that, they didn't want to. They just wanted to act, and because of that, you forego some power, and they didn't really have a say on how the show ended. So don't be surprised if 4 or 5 years from now, Supernatural's back for a season or 2 or 3, and it ends up being not only starring Jensen and Jared again, but actually being made by them as well, so that they have a power, but with probably a much less episode count. You're not going to see those guys doing 22 episodes, I don't think. 10 maybe. 10. Thoughts on that, Tom? Natural guy.
I don't know. Honestly, I know that a good chunk of the fan base and, Jensen Ackles, I don't quite remember Jared's views. We're not totally happy with the finale, but I just wonder how they would. Are they just going to say this doesn't count anymore, or that's something I'm a little hesitant on. Like, here we are at the season 15 finale. and time travel. And
basically, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time, right? It's supernatural. They have one of any infinite possibilities. And as Jensen has put it multiple times now at the convention since then, because they still do supernatural conventions, is that, it could be a situation where Jack's powerless to stop something and he plugs the 18 back, or someone ends up just turning back time, sort of thing. So I'm curious to see what'll happen here. I'm going to be patient with it. We got 15 seasons of Supernatural. If we never get another, then it's hard to complain. But the Winchesters is shaping up to look pretty decent, and I'm going to give it a chance regardless. And plus, don't forget, Dean Winchester is on the Winchesters. He's going to be the guy narrating the intros and outros to every single episode. So it's going to be curious to at least hear Dean tell these stories. Anyways, just want to take a second and give everybody a look ahead at what's to come on the channel. Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, which is tomorrow, we have Star Wars Wastelands broadcast. We're talking about the possibility of more Star Wars sequel movies and what's it like to be Darth Vader. So you have that to look forward to, 8:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night. And then at 9:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night, we have Fandom Empire Live. We're talking about the possibility of a new Halloween movie set in the past. We're talking DC. We're going to talk some AEW. And now with Thor, Love and Thunder trailer being out, we will more than likely talk about that as well. And speaking of which, Tommy, let's end the show with what we teased off the beginning. Thor, Love and Thunder. The trailer's out. What did you think, man?
I actually watched the first opening seconds with the running a couple of times, trying to get the pause. We sat down, watched it, but I think they crammed a lot of nice cameos, but clips in there. You're showing the diversity of characters we're gonna get to see on screen with this film. I don't think this film, and this could change, is going to be as amped up as, Doctor Strange 2. But I still think that fans of Thor are going to get a heck of a lot out of this film. And we all know the still that, everyone's talking the most about from this teaser. So just can't wait to see how the MCU receives the character and what ends up happening with it.
Yeah, hang on. We got some more questions in the chat. We'll get to them in a second. Again, if you guys have any other questions, now's the time to do so because we're about to get out of here. It felt very much like Guardians of the Galaxy. It felt like Thor Ragnarok, and I'm on board with both of those because I really like Guardians, and I loved Thor Ragnarok. And again, I'm someone that thinks a lot of MCU movies are incredibly overrated. But this is one that I think might be quite good. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. And it's definitely up there on my most anticipated movies list for this year. Toronto Freddy says, dude, they were in a Scooby-Doo episode. Anything can happen. That's the last episode I watched of Supernatural, actually. We watched that Scooby-Doo episode a couple months ago. Just randomly put it on one morning and love it. Just another horror fan. Do y'all watch Walker? They had Kansas on the last episode. I've not watched Walker yet, although I heard it's quite good and it had an early renewal for season 2. And I do know Jensen Ackles is coming in to direct possibly 2 episodes next season for them. So.
I knew about the 1 episode he was going to be around for, but I didn't know there were 2. It sounds... Honestly, I was skeptical about this project. I haven't heard a single bad thing about it. The thing is peachy keen, nothing wrong, but it's curious, right? So I'm going to have to check it out eventually.
Jay Ryan says, anything you want to say about Ends that has made you think more highly of it than previously thought? I'll keep it simple just because we're at the end of the show. A different approach is how I would define it. A different approach. Hey, Shawn, random question, but curious. Why are you a Titans fan? I grew up in Nashville, and I'm a lifelong fan. Okay, so I liked their jerseys as a kid. That was literally all there was to it. I liked their jerseys as a kid. I started following the team, and they've been my team since. But Tom Brady's a close second. Any team Tom Brady's on. So I'm a Tom Brady guy. Anyways, that is going to do it for this show. Tommy B, where can everybody find you at, good sir?
Floating around Instagram and Twitter at TommyB1650, and Empire Now group. Come and check us out.
Check us out, indeed. Check us out at Fandom Empire Now on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you want to support the channel, you can do so on Patreon, patreon.com/Fandom Empire. Join today, because that is, in fact, the way. We got a new episode of Lampkin Lane coming up, and you can also become a YouTube channel member. If you're watching on your desktop, laptop, whatever, it should say join beside subscribe, and you can become a YouTube channel member that way if you want. We're going to be doing some interviews on the channel each month now, and channel members will get exclusive access to ask questions to those we have on, and we already have a few big names confirmed, so we look forward to revealing all of that in due time. For Tommy B, though, I'm Shawn. Thanks very much. We'll see you tomorrow night. Good night, everybody.